I'm Jocelyn McKenzie. I'm a musician, maker, and medium, and today I want to talk to you about how to prepare for a reading with me on Zoom. It's kind of amazing that readings work over Zoom. A lot of folks ask me, like, how do you do readings on Zoom? Don't you need to be in the same space as someone else? Absolutely not. We are dealing with infinity here. If we can connect with people in spirit, why not be able to connect with people over Zoom? Energy is everywhere, and we can connect over the internet and over the phone just as easily as we can in person. This is an amazing time to be getting readings because you can connect with people all over the world. We're already touching in on the infinite here, so why wouldn't it work on Zoom? So with that in mind, these are the 7 things that I recommend to prepare for your reading with me. Now, whether this is a psychic reading, a mediumship reading, or a creative reading, all of the prep instructions are going to be the same. I'm also going to send this in an automated email and a list of instructions when you book your reading, but just to go over it now for you so that you know how to best prepare to get the most out of our time together. So first things first is I ask folks to try to come into the reading within a state of sobriety in the 24 hours preceding the reading. Now, this just means lay off a little bit on the recreational drugs and alcohol use if you can. Prescription drugs should be taken as prescribed. No need to change any of that, of course. But it's just nice to walk into a reading not hungover, not, still drunk from the night before, whatever it may be. You have your fun, live your beautiful earthly life. But for a reading, it is nice to have a nice clean slate to start from. So I do ask folks to prepare by being in a state of sobriety for about 24 hours in advance. Now, if something happens, let's say you have a reading the next day and a friend surprises you and comes to town and you go out for a glass of wine, don't worry about it. It's not the hugest deal. Just as best you can to step into that space with as clear a head as possible in terms of recreational substances. Number 2 is I ask folks to really take their time getting into the reading. So try not to book a reading in between like my doctor's appointment and when I have to pick up the kids from school. That's not a great time. If you're rushing, you're probably going to be distracted and it's not going to give you the chance to really absorb and receive. And this is really just about your well-being. We don't want to rush anything. Spirit can wait. They're there all the time. You're not going to miss out on a message if you just happen to have 1 hour window and you're trying to cram it in. But no matter what's on your calendar, to give yourself some time before and after the reading. I like to say 15 to 20 minutes to really just set some time for yourself and relax so that you're not rushing. Really set the space for yourself. Give yourself a little cushion so that it not only feels special, like you're creating this lovely space for yourself, but also just so that you're not distracted by anything from the outside world coming in and you can really just be in a space to receive. And then also in terms of getting out of it, you don't want to be looking at your clock saying, okay, when is this going to be over? I have something to do next. Try to book it at a time where you can have some cushion on either side. And then also just energetically, you can be more present and more focused when you're in the reading with me. The third thing is that if you'd like to do this, to clear your space a little bit as well. Set up your laptop, set up your phone, whatever device you're going to be joining me on Zoom with. You can crack a window open just to get some airflow going if you like. If you like clearing your space with sage or Palo Santo or a feather or even just your hands, using your own energy to say, okay, I'm going to release everything out of this space that no longer serves me and I'm going to draw in the things that I welcome and the things that are the highest and greatest good for me and everyone involved so that you can clear both your mind and your body and your space as well. So that's just a nice thing to do. So the fourth way that you can prepare for a reading with me is to make sure that you have no distractions in your space. This time is for you. How often do we set aside time for ourselves only to say, oh wait, somebody's calling me, give me 5 minutes. This is not that time. This time is strictly for you. So if there's any distractions, leave them at the door. Try to make accommodation so that you can really focus on this time as if you were going to be just not reachable for that hour or hour and change. So making sure that all of the people in your life know that you're going to be accounted for during that time so that you're not available to them, kids, spouses, partners, parents, pets even. So just make sure that you have no distractions. And also, even if that means like if there's construction outside your window, maybe you're going into a different room. Or if you have a roommate, making sure that you've said, hey, I need this hour and we're gonna make sure to not have any interruptions so that you're not distracted. So I do often get the question, little 4.2, 4A, item 4A, pets. Now, it depends on the pet. Some folks, their pets are a little more energetic and so they might be distracting. So you might want to make an accommodation for your pet and get them some care that day or just make sure that they're in the other room if that won't be bothersome for them. I know some pets are very attached and you wouldn't want to leave them in another room, but you know your pet the best. So do what's best for them, of course. But some pets love readings. I've had pets come in and they just, cats walking across the screen or a dog comes up and then wants to sit on your lap. The energy flow works over Zoom. So the pet in your world is going to pick up on that as well. And sometimes it really calms them down. Other times it might make them a little excited. So you'll know your pet. And also if something happens and you do need to pause and take care of your animal family during our reading, don't worry about it. We will make time for that and you can give them the care that they need. But just wanted to kind of say that in advance that some pets, readings are great. Some pets, they need to be in another space or occupied by something else during that time. So you just give them what they need so that you can actually have that space and that time for yourself. So number 5, I do ask that you not eat or chew gum during the reading, just because again, it can be a little distracting, but it can also block energy flow. I do recommend, of course, if you want to drink a glass of water or a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, that's no problem. I often will be drinking water during a reading because I get very dehydrated when I'm giving readings. So water and tea or coffee is fine, but no chewing gum, no eating, just again, to keep the space nice and clear and focused. Number 6, to prepare for your reading is if you would like to take notes, absolutely you are welcome to do that. You can use a pen and paper, or if you want to type, if that's easier for you, by all means, that won't be distracting to me at all. Whatever is going to be the best way for you to keep a record of the ideas that come to you during a reading. And I will say that I can record the audio file of your reading for you, and I will send that to you as well if you would like. If you don't want a recording, that's totally fine too, no pressure. But if you would like a recording, I will send that to you and then you can take notes from the recording. But different things are going to come up at different times, right? So in the moment, even if it's not something that I'm saying in the reading, you might have an idea or want to jot something down. So it really depends on your brain and how you work best. But trust yourself. If you'd like to take notes, go right ahead. If not, no worries, and I'll send you the recording and you can take notes from there, or you can just listen to it and enjoy it a second time or a third time or a 5th time or 10th time, whatever you need. So the final note on how to best prepare for a reading. So we've talked about the space, we've talked about your body, we've talked about distractions, but in finding some clarity, if you have specific questions that you want to ask or specific people who you want to invite into the space, and this especially goes for creative readings, if you have a specific project that you want to work on, that you want to come in with that intention and say, let's talk about this specific thing, by all means, prepare a list of questions that you can bring into the space. Now, you can email these to me in advance. On my booking site, you'll see there's a little space for notes if you want to fill it in there. Or if, let's say, an hour before the reading, you think of 10 questions that you want to address, by all means, send them my way by email. Or you can just ask them in real time during the reading, whatever is best for you. But I find that sometimes folks kind of get very into it and then they kind of forget what they meant to ask. So I find it's helpful to have a little list of that written down just for my own brain. I know that when I get readings, I like to write down my questions first. And maybe you also just want to come into the reading with no questions. That's totally fine too. You absolutely do not have to prepare questions, but if you do have something specific on your mind that you don't want to forget to ask, I suggest writing it down and then either emailing it to me or you can ask it during the reading. So that's how I would suggest that you prepare for a reading with me. If you have any further questions about the process of what to do to prepare, send me an email and I'm happy to get back to you.